PSE Decree. Wonder what's different. Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com looking at the PSE Decree. What is the PSE Decree? It is a 31.5-inch axle-to-axle bow with a 6.5-inch brace height, 337 foot a second. Goes from 25 to 30.5 inch on your pivoting module. Same features as before. It's got front mount pick, rear mount pick, multiple places to mount your sight if you choose to directly mount it, so you've got some variety there. It does integrate their two-piece quiver option that goes through the roller guard and up here, which is kind of unique to them. Comes with a little dampener here, a couple extra spot to screw in weight, I'd imagine, or a V-bar bracket possibly, but generic, not specific. Front stabilizer bushing. Grip's nice and contoured. It's actually, for a rubber grip, pretty freaking good. So let's see what we've got here for measurements. Start with our axle to axle. This is supposed to be 31.5, going to the far side of the screw. And it is 31.5. Awesome. Brace height. Right on. Brace height 6.5. This tape is exactly 6.5, so this would be convenient. So they must be measuring to the back of the string, which I want to say is what we found on the Mach 33. So I guess we'll call that right. Riser length. Flip it around for you. Pivot point limb pocket riser meet. 26.5. Reflex. Ooh, that's going to be a pretty good one. So that looks like 2 1/8. All right, let's check our draw length and get the load out point. Check our physical weight before we put it in the draw board here. So that is measuring out at 4.9 probably. He's bouncing between 5 and 4.8, 4.9. So we'll call that 4.9. Looking for 4.4. We're going to give that 2 of that, so that's 4.7, and we know that's 2 because we took that off the other one. It's between 1 and 2. So between those two, it should be 3 to 4 ounces. So this should be really about 4.6. So it's a little heavier from what they said. I don't know what else they're taking off, if they're considering taking off limb dampeners or and the string stop or something, but that's what we got for that. Let's see what our draw length and load out point is. Okay, looking for 30 inches, and it's right in the center of the bolt hole. The pivot point on the grip is slightly in front of that. I'm going to say that's 30 1/8. Close. All right, let's see what the load out point is. Actually, so you can read it. Here. Looks like 31.5. 31.5. All right, let's see what she shoots. So going forward for the next 3 arrows, I can't really say anything. The meter is so sensitive that my voice, apparently I have a loud voice, is possibly louder than the bow. So we can't really speak while we're doing the 3 shots for decibel. I'll talk and comment on the bow after that while I'm shooting the rest of the arrows, but for the next 3, I'm gonna whisper like it's wabbit season. Okay, we're shooting 350 grain arrows at 70 pounds and 30 inches out of the Decree. Here we go. 333, 334. $336, $337. So we'll give an $335, $334. That'll be a total of $335. Okay, so we just averaged, I think it was $335. I wrote it down already, and 78.5 on the dB meter. Okay, so we're going to shoot 450s and 650s and see what kind of speed we get out of those. And I can actually talk. I feel like I'm in timeout or something whenever we're doing that decibel meter. All right, here we go. The cycle's very similar to the 33. It's just a little heavier, but that's, I'm sure, hold on, 295, 295. I'm sure that's simply because this is cycling farther in the cam. The farther you get to the back of the cam, the harder, more aggressive it cycles. So it feels like it's heavier, even though it's not. So 295. These are 450s, which is a great freaking speed combination to shoot for hunting. Like, average guy, 295, 450 grain arrow, it's smoking. And then that was 293 and 297. So once again, average of 295. It's part of why we're using two chronographs. So if we get variance, we can take an average of it and hopefully get you closer to the real number. And as always, we will go in and do 28 inches as well. So we can do the math and you can figure out roughly what your velocity is going to be at whatever draw length you want to set it at without having to do a lot of work, because we're doing the work for you. 297, 295, so 5 of the 6, I'd say it's a 295. I'll pull those and we'll shoot some 650s. All right, these are the adult arrows at 650 grains. But before I send these, I want to tell you, support your local pro shop. This bow is only available at your local pro shop anyway, but you need them and they need you. Service work, warranty work, etc. like that. Like, unless your pro shop's just freaking garbage, which, you know, some of them are, and I understand that. If they're providing somewhat of a service and they have some inventory and they're taking care of you in some capacity, you really should be spending your money with them. If you're going to buy it online, and only if you're going to buy it online, give me a shot. PodiumArcher.com, $99 and up is free shipping, and coupon code MFJJ will save you a little money. Now let's get back to the show, shall we? 650 grain arrows. 70 pounds, 30 inches. Probably about 250-ish, we'll see. 245, 247, so 246. I do have to admit, when you shoot these heavy arrows, these ridiculously heavy arrows, you do feel a little less vibration. Although, honestly, and it might just be the bows I've tested so far, I can't feel any vibration in anything. Like, it's amazing how dead they have gotten. Like, bows today, I'm not sure how they're going to improve drastically above what they already have, because they're so darned impressive. 250, 248, so we'll go an average 248 there. One more. And then we'll reset this at 28 inches and shoot 450s through it. .243, 247. So I'll give you a 248 average. All right, we'll reset this at 28 and do that, 248. All right, last but not least, 28-inch, 450 grain arrows. We do this so we can do the math and calculate how much per inch you're actually losing in speed, because you will find, as we make more and more of these videos on this, that it actually does change a lot, and each bow is a little different. So this should allow you to know what your bow will be at your draw length for speed. 275, 272, so we'll take an average of 274 on that one, since it's above, it's a 272.3, so 274. 271, 276. Still keep it at 274, maybe 273. Let's say 273. One more. 270, 272. So we'll give you an average of 273, and we'll add it up. Right. Okay. So same exact speed difference on the Decree and the Mach 30, which is not surprising because it's running the same cam system, and your efficiency changeover is going to be the same cam system to cam system. Unless you're at like extreme ends of it, then you might run into something different. So it's 11 feet per inch per second. So if you go shorter, if you're going to shoot 350 grain arrows at 29 inches, you should be able to take roughly 11 feet off of that, and you would be 324 probably. Now granted, this is at 450, 350, you might see a little more variance, but that's your average, so we're trying to go off of that. So speed-wise, we got 335, so you're going to get a 12. This was slightly faster. Speed is a 12, which I want to say this bow is actually a tiny bit faster than the 33 with similar brace height, so there you go. But that's not shocking. Typically a shorter axle-to-axle bow is a little faster. Features that aren't related to tuning or integration, there's really not much for features. I mean, they're custom rubber inlaid grip that's specifically to them. They're their own limb dampeners that are specifically to them. There's not a integrated V-bar by any means, so features I probably got to give you, hang on. So features, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 2. Tunability, I'm going to give you an 8. Integration, I'm going to give you a 7, which are the same as the carbon because you basically have the same features, same tunability, same integration. Honesty, you're probably going to get a little better mark on this one because I think your numbers are closer to in spec on this. What's that? Okay. 31.5 was spot on. Brace was spot on. Weight was 2/10. Draw length was 1/8 long. Speed was 335, and you're saying 337. That was even closer. I mean, I'm going to give you, I'll give you an 11 for honesty because you're pretty damn close on those things. Feels very similar. I do like the feel of the grip on the carbon a little better, so I'm probably going to take off 2. I'm going to give you a 6 because it does cycle harder at my draw length. And mind you, I'm only testing this at my draw length, so that's just trying to be fair in that regard. Design and forgiveness. We're running basically the same reflex, similar riser specs. I suppose it's going to be a little less forgiving than the Mach 30, so the Mach 36. So I probably got to go down a little lower. I got to give you like a 6. That's a lot of reflex and a short riser for your overall axle-to-axle length, and that does contribute to accuracy. I'm sure there's going to be people that argue that, but I don't know, argue it. Fine. Value, $12.99. I think that puts it slightly under a Hoyt or a Matthews, but I don't have that information yet, so it's hard for me to say it's a great value. I do think the specs and forgiveness that you're getting, I'm still going to call it a 3 for value. I think it's right in the middle of it altogether, to be honest. I think it's relatively fair. Sound-wise, I don't think, it didn't measure any louder, so we're going to go off the same number. It's 78.5. We'll give that a 3. I'm going to explain decibel here in a second. And appeal and quality, I mean, so appeal and quality, it doesn't really feel like they made a different bow, to be honest. So it's hard for me to give you any kind of mark on appeal because it doesn't really feel like it's any different. Quality's there, but appeal's like really low because this basically feels like what you made last year. It doesn't really look any different than what you made last year. Cool camo color option with the different colored cams, but that was also last year. So it's hard for me to give you anything better on that. All right, let's see what we got. 12, 14, 22, 29, yeah, 29, 40, 52, 58, 60. So 60 is your mark. As I had said before, I don't expect anybody to get higher than a 75 or an 80, to be honest. You'd really have to blow my socks off for that to happen. And, you know, in some categories, you're going to do better and worse based off of your price point, based off of your structure. But comment down below on what this is. I'm sure there's haters out there that are going to think this is terrible, and then there's going to be a decent amount of people that like this. So, but either way, there's some hard numbers in here to go off of. If you think I'm being subjective, just ignore that and just pay attention to the hard numbers and go off of what you want to go there. But that's what I got. That's what we came out with. And what the main thing I want to point out here that I've really started to see, and it's been so far this year, I haven't found one yet. Your speeds are actually really close to what they're supposed to be. So hopefully somebody getting on the internet and actually testing these things over and over and over against each other and showing how far off the velocities were, maybe changed how they were measuring them. So hats off to every bow manufacturer so far, because nobody's been out of line. Everybody's been 2 to 7 feet. That's great. I love to see it, because at the end of the day, I want them to publish what the thing's going to actually do and what it's going to actually represent to you, so then I don't even need to do this stuff. So hey, great. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it, and more coming soon.